The day has finally come, the first practice of a new season as the coach of a new team. You have no idea what to expect because you've only met your team in the few tryouts that you had. You have so many questions. Will they all get along together as teammates? Will they all like me as their coach? Will we all have fun and win along the way? With all of these questions looming over the first practice, when all of the answers can only come with time, the first step to having a great season is to have all of your players leave the first practice knowing each other like they're best friends. How do you do that? Icebreaker challenges. In today's Bullpen Bulletin, I'm giving coaches my top 5 icebreaker ideas for the first practice, so your team can start the season as exactly that, a team. Hey team, Coach Hart here with Building Better Baseball, the best place for baseball education. If this is your first video and we're meeting for the first time, I'd like to say it's great to have you and welcome to the team. If you're a youth baseball player or a coach and you'd like to improve your game and take it to the next level, this channel is perfect for you. Make sure you tune in every week for the weekly Bullpen Bulletin. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can catch every video to improve your game. If you stick around to the end, I have a few free guides that I'd like to give you. But for now, let's dive into my top 5 icebreaker ideas for the first practice. These icebreakers are activities and ideas that I did when I coached, and my players loved them. This top 5 is not really ranked from 1 to 5, as in 1 is the best and 5 is the worst. It's more ranked as in the flow of practice. So number 1 you would do in the beginning of practice, and number 5 you would do at the end of practice. You can choose to do all 5, or you could just choose a couple of your favorites. They're all great. My first activity is called the favorites box. The favorites box is an activity that really helped my players express their interest to their teammates and helped each player learn something new about one another. It's very simple, but you need to make sure that you have some pieces of paper, some pencils and pens, and a shoebox, or really any box that can hold paper. This activity is for the beginning of practice as your players are arriving. How it works is each player gets a piece of paper and they write down something that's their favorite. You as the coach could put a limit on the topics such as favorite baseball player or favorite food or favorite place to go. Anything really works. Or you could just leave it open and have the players write whatever they want. The players write something that's their favorite and they put it in the box. The coaches could play too if you'd like. That makes it a lot more fun for the kids. Just make sure on the piece of paper that you write coach on it, and when you read them out, just make sure that you tell the kids that it's one of the coaches. As the players go through practice, they'll talk and learn about each other and get to know one another. Then, during the end of practice meeting, you'll read aloud every piece of paper that's in the box. The kids will have to try and guess whose paper it is. Then, after all the guesses happen, the player whose paper it is or the coach will stand up and own it. This game is a ton of fun, and the kids always have a great time trying to guess whose paper it is. Plus, they all learn new things about each other. My second idea is to have all your players warm up with a new teammate. This idea is super simple, and it helps new teammates feel welcomed and part of the team. This is really great for teams who have a core group of players that have been playing for a while, for a few seasons, and they all know each other. Naturally, this group will all want to warm up and throw with each other on the first practice. But when they do that, the new teammates who don't know anybody will have to throw with somebody who also doesn't know anybody. Then the team is not really a team. It's just 2 groups of players. One group of players all know each other, and the other group doesn't know anybody. As coaches, we want to mix these groups in with each other so everyone is involved and feels welcomed. Having a rule that your players have to warm up with a new teammate will really help your team gel together and make every player feel accepted. My third activity today is called 3 things. This icebreaker is great for when your team is in groups or in stations. Piggybacking off of number 2, this one will only work if each group doesn't really know each other. If there's a group that are all best friends and they all know each other, it won't really work. The 3 things activity works like this. While the players are working in the groups or in stations, their job is to find 3 things that they have in common with their teammates. The things can be anything. The 3 things do not have to be in common with the same teammate. They could have something in common with 3 different teammates. But by the end of the station work, they should know 3 things that they have in common with their teammates. This idea is really awesome for getting players to talk to each other about their interests. That's really hard for young players to do, especially if they're shy, to open up about things that they like and things that they're interested in. It's even better if the commonality is something quirky or considered a little weird, such as I like to dip French fries into milkshakes. The weirder it is, the better it is, because that helps players know that they're not alone in the things that they like and creates a bond between two players who didn't know each other before. By the way, I love dipping my French fries into milkshakes, and if you haven't tried it before, it's definitely something that you have to put on your list to try. And if you do that too, let me know in the comments below that we have something in common. My fourth activity today is the game 18 outs with names. The game 18 outs is something I played nearly every week with my team. It's a great way to just get your team playing on the full field together, making plays that they would in the game. If you play 6-inning games, your practice game would be 18 outs. 6 innings times 3 outs equals 18 outs in the game. If you play 7 innings, then your practice game would be 21 outs, because there's a total of 21 outs that you have to make in the full game. You, as the coach, hit the ball to different positions and your players make the plays. If they make an out, that counts towards the total number of outs. The game is not done until the last out is made. The goal of the game is to make the least number of errors possible. There's 2 ways you can play. You can just count the errors made without having them affect the number of outs, or you could have an error subtract an out from the tally. So if your team is at 12 outs and they make an error, now they're at 11 outs. Just keep in mind, if you do it that way, the game is going to take way longer to complete. The icebreaker part of the game is to have each player, every time they throw the ball to a teammate, yell out the teammate's name that they're throwing to when they throw it. If they forget, then that's an error. They have to yell it loud enough for everyone to hear. This game is great to just learn everybody's name. My fifth idea is for the post-practice meeting, and it's one new thing I learned. The last activity I did was done during the post-practice meeting. If you do the favorites box that we talked about in number 1, you can do this after you read all the papers from the box. For this activity, you'll have every player stand and first say their name, and then they'll say one new thing that they learned about another teammate. With all of these activities, every player should have learned a bunch of new things about their teammates. And after they're all done, the coaches can say something too. I can tell you that if you do even a few of these activities with your team in the first practice, you all will walk away excited for the season, and everyone will feel like they're part of an awesome group of people who are going to have so much fun and a great season playing together. If you're a coach watching this, leave a comment and let me know. Do you do any icebreaker activities with your team on your first practice? And what's your favorite activity from this list that you'd like to do with your team? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're new to baseball or you just need help finding the right baseball equipment fit, my free equipment guide is linked below and it has everything you need. It explains every piece of equipment that we use in baseball, and it tells you how to find the right fit for you. I'm here to help you be the best you can be on the field. Be sure to grab your free equipment guide down below. And coaches, if you feel like there's a lot of time wasted in your practices and there's not a lot accomplished, my free 2-hour practice plan will set you on the right path to efficiency. It lays out 2 blueprints to make the most of your time on the field. Grab yours, link down in the description below. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I hope this video gave all coaches some simple, new ideas on how to break the ice with their team in the first practice and help every player feel accepted and excited for the new season. I'll see you next week for another installment of the Bullpen Bulletin.